The Chicago Bears tie against the Miami Dolphins at Ben Johnson's first game ever coaching this team in the preseason. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears post-game reaction video, which I'll be doing after every single Bears game this year. And I'll just be going through all the top plays, all the top players that I thought stood out in this game, and just talking about my reaction from this game. Now, it is preseason, so there's not a whole lot to take away, but there's still a variety of things that I wanted to highlight from this game. And it was a pretty competitive game, okay? It was pretty fun to watch for being preseason. Obviously, starters did not play for the Chicago Bears, and they barely played for the Miami Dolphins, so it was mostly backups. But to end in a tie, I was kind of hoping they would just let them keep on playing out there. I mean, this ain't soccer, okay? We don't tie in football usually, so kind of wish they kept on playing, but obviously it's preseason. They don't care that much about these games, but would have loved to see the Chicago Bears win this game at the very end. We had excellent field position after the sack on Quinn Ewers after the all-out blitz on 4th down. We should have won this game, honestly, but number 82 had a bad drop that could have put us in field goal range, and I don't know why we were trying to go all the way down the field in that situation when we just needed some yards to get into field goal range. But regardless, it's preseason, okay? Who the hell cares? It doesn't matter that much. But talking about what stood out from this game, okay, a couple players I want to highlight. So Austin Booker, first of all, was the star of this game to get 3 sacks and a forced fumble. Big time stuff from Austin Booker, okay? He's only 22 years old. He has such high potential. He had a pretty good preseason last year too, so we have to see if it translates into the regular season games. But guys, his mix of speed and power was on full display in this game, and on all of his sacks he won in a different way. Like, one of them he straight up just bull rushed the guy, the other one he did the spin move, the last one I think was both a power and finesse combo. So you know, he's showing he can win in a variety of different ways. I mean, he has so much raw athleticism too to his game where, guys, he could be a fantastic rotational pass rusher for the Chicago Bears in 2025. I think he's definitely going to get some snaps on this team. He has some deficiencies against the run to some extent, but as a pure pass rusher, he is fantastic, okay? To get 3 sacks in this game, that just showed he's much better than the opposition, which the opposition, they were backups, so you know, that just shows like he's better than this level. Like, he deserves to get some playing time with the Chicago Bears in the regular season. And I think he will, because he was so fun to watch out there today. I mean, especially that, you know, that strip sack against Quinn Ewers, which gave us a ball in fantastic, you know, range to score the touchdown. That was a big time play to help the Chicago Bears, you know, get ahead in this game. So really love what I saw from Austin Booker. Another player on the defense I want to highlight, Noah Sewell. Okay, he was flying out there to begin this game. He had multiple big time plays. He had a peanut punch, which forced a fumble, but it went out of bounds. But at the goal line, he had a fantastic stop on 4th down. He shot up the field, got the ball carrier down behind the line of scrimmage. A big time play by Noah Sewell. He also had another play before that in which he wrapped up the ball carrier, kind of tackled him from behind to prevent the touchdown. He was flying out there in the football field. I mean, fantastic plays against the run. He wasn't really getting exposed in coverage at all. I mean, if you look at the tackles that he had, let me bring that up. But okay, going to defense, he had 6 total tackles in this game, 1 tackle for loss. So just fantastic stuff from Noah Sewell. He looked very capable out there to be our 3rd linebacker, and he was playing against the starters of the Miami Dolphins. Guys, remember, the Dolphins were playing the starters at the very beginning of this game, and the Bears defense still stopped them, even though we had our backups in. I mean, that was extremely impressive to get that last goal line stop, and a lot of it was because of the plays that Noah Sewell made. I think he's definitely going to win the strong side backer position that was vacated by Jack Sanborn leaving. He's more than capable. He's been having a great training camp so far, played a very good game today, so excited to see Noah Sewell blossom in this defense. Ruben Hippolyte also looked pretty good out there today. I thought, like, he had a couple nice tackles. He had 6 total tackles as well. He was part of some plays in which, you know, we made the goal line stands. He had 1 tackle for loss. He looked really fast out there today as well. He's fighting with Noah Sewell for playing time. He's probably not going to get a whole lot of playing time in his rookie year, but if injuries happen, he very well could, and he could be a big contributor on special teams too, with how he can fly up and down the field and make those big time hits. So love the play from those guys. I also want to highlight Kyle Manungai because damn, Kyle Manungai had a few angry runs that made me so damn excited. He finished this game with 30 rushing yards on 6 carries, so average of 5.0 yards per carry. He had a long of 13 yards in which he put a Miami Dolphins defender on his ass, just ran through him. That was a big time play that got me so hyped up. His running style is so fun to watch because he really runs angry, and those are the types of guys that I love watching at the running back spot. You know, I like the guys like David Montgomery, for example, that can like really keep those legs moving and just power through guys for those extra yards. Like, I don't think we really had that on this team before Manungai. I mean, Roschon Johnson has that ability too, to some extent, but it seems like Manungai has more burst than Roschon Johnson does. And, you know, we know Swift is more of like a finesse speed back. So I love what we saw from Kyle Manungai. Hopefully he can get some carries in the rotation this year. I think he definitely will, because he did not really play much after the first half, which shows me that the Bears value him as a contributor to the Chicago Bears offense in 2025. Maybe he's going to split some snaps with DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson. So fantastic game from him. Also talking about some of the other rookies. So I thought that Colson Loveland, you know, he had a pretty good catch. He was barely used in this game, but he just had that one catch, which was on the 3rd and long, which the defense, you know, gave him some room there because it was 3rd and long. So not a whole lot to take away from Colson Loveland in this game. He barely played, but Luther Burden did play a lot more. He had 2 catches for 29 yards. He had that one nice catch in the first half to get that first down. He had another catch after that too. He was open on a lot of these plays. Tyson Bagent wasn't hitting him on some where I did see him open. So, you know, that's going to kind of be the thing with the Bears offense this year. We have so many weapons where there are going to be guys open, but you can't make all your reads at once, obviously. So it's going to depend on who the first read was, if the quarterback can get to the next read, you know, in time. But I thought Luther Burden looked good out there. He looked fast, great hands. There are so many ways to use this guy in this offense. I'm really excited to see how Ben Johnson decides to utilize him. And like they said on the broadcast, like, I guess he's kind of the product of what it would be if DJ Moore and Rome Odunze had a baby, because he does have that speed and yak element to his game, but he does have the size and the hands to maybe go up and get a contested catch like a Rome Odunze. I thought it was really funny that Stacey Dales asked Rome Odunze that question on the broadcast right to Rome Odunze's face. Rome Odunze didn't really know how to react to that. He was like, what the hell? But, you know, that was a pretty funny moment. But yeah, overall, those guys did pretty well. Devin Duvernay also had a pretty good game. He had 3 catches for 27 receiving yards. He had a nice catch on the sideline, showed off his speed there. He kind of gave me PTSD seeing the number 12 out there returning kicks, Velus Jones flashbacks, but you know, he looked pretty solid out there. And then I also want to talk about Cairo Santos, guys, because good Lord, man, to nail that 57-yard field goal, I did not expect him to hit that because Cairo is not known for having the strongest leg. I thought his like max he can make is like usually around like 55 yards. So the fact that he did make a 57-yard field goal with a lot of room to spare too, that could have been good from 60. Honestly, that's a great sign for the Bears kicking game in 2025. Okay, I don't think we're going to really attempt many super long field goals because, you know, again, he doesn't have the strongest leg, but maybe we can attempt these field goals of like 57 yards because he just made one today with a lot of room to spare, right? So maybe he got a little bit stronger in the offseason. And us Bears fans, sometimes we take Cairo Santos for granted because it is so hard to find a reliable kicker, but he has been a very reliable kicker for the Bears for many years now, okay? Ever since 2020, he's been so good for the Bears. So really happy to have Cairo Santos on the team. But those are all the guys I basically want to talk about that I think will have an impact on the Bears' real team in 2025. But I do want to talk about some of the backups too that I don't think will, you know, start much for the Bears or contribute that much. But injuries do happen, so maybe they do see some playing time. First of all, talking about Tyson Bagent, I want to talk about Case Keenum too, but first talking about Tyson Bagent, he struggled a little bit to begin the game, pretty inaccurate on some of the throws, but he got better as the game progressed. He had a really nice touchdown in that first half in which there was pressure allowed. Braxton Jones whiffed on that block. That was a horrible blocking attempt by Braxton Jones, but Tyson Bagent got the ball out high to only where his receiver could catch it, and Maurice Alexander made a fantastic play on the ball. So, I thought that was a good throw by Tyson Bagent. He showed off some of the accuracy on that drive, and overall he finished the game with 103 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception. The interception wasn't really fully his fault because he gave the receiver a chance, but the ball just kind of popped up because the receiver could not really make a play on it and, landed right in the hands of the Dolphins defender. So, overall up and down day from Tyson Bagent, I thought. But Case Keenum also had a pretty good game as well. Okay, he went 8 for 10 for 80 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I thought he looked better than Tyson Bagent out there today. Now, Bagent went up against some of the starters on that first drive, I believe. So maybe not exactly the most fair comparison, but still, like, Case Keenum had a fantastic throw to, I believe it was Jade Walker for that touchdown. I mean, right in his hands, right in the breadbasket. Beautiful stuff from Case Keenum. He showed off his accuracy, his slight mobility as well. He had a play in the red zone where he scrambled a little bit, but still got the ball into the receiver for the touchdown. Like, Case Keenum is a very reliable veteran. So I think there is a discussion to be had over who is QB2 on this team, because both could be reliable assets to this team. I mean, Tyson Bagent has the youth and the higher ceiling probably because he is young, but Case Keenum has the veteran experience. It's important to have a veteran in this QB room. He's shown to be reliable for a variety of different teams when he does have to play, and he played really good today in the preseason. So I think there is somewhat of a competition going on because unlike some Bears fans, I think Tyson Bagent is a savior of this franchise. Like, I don't think anybody else thinks that. He has limitations to his game, but he's still a solid backup. So, we'll see what happens at the QB2 spot. I thought both, had their moments today. And then Austin Reed comes in at the very end. Doesn't really do a whole lot. But those are the quarterbacks. Talking about some of the other guys. So Deion Hankins in the run game, he had a couple very nice carries. Ian Wheeler also had a couple carries. I like to root for Ian Wheeler because this guy, seeing him in a Hard Knocks last year and what he had to go through with the injury, I'm definitely rooting for him and for him to make the team. He had a fantastic touchdown in which he had to bounce outside a little bit that got called back due to a penalty. So he did not finish with any touchdowns, but he had 20 rushing yards and a catch as well for 14 yards. So, some fantastic play from him. And looking at some of the other backups on the defense, so Trey Flowers started out the game pretty rough. He got better as it progressed, went down with the injury, but then came back. So, he's a guy to watch out for to maybe be that last defensive back on this team. And Zach Pickens also had a really nice play too. Okay, Zach Pickens had a sack in this one, and he's a guy we're hoping takes that next step up. We'll see if that actually happens, but some good play at the beginning from Zach Pickens. But that's basically it for my recap of this game. The only other thing I want to highlight is that our return coverage unit was pretty horrible today. We were allowing big returns from the Miami Dolphins the entire game. So Richard Hightower has to get that straightened out. We were definitely not good enough on the coverage units for both the punt returns and the kickoff returns. So hopefully we can get that cleaned out. But yeah, overall, there's not much else to say about this game. Okay, starters did not play, so like you can't take away a whole lot. But I thought our young guys looked pretty good. There were flashes of potential from many of the guys that we have. And I thought Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen, they looked pretty good in this game. They weren't really calling the real plays, but we scored a good amount of points. So good stuff from Ben Johnson using the play action. Good stuff from Dennis Allen as well on that last attempt by Quinn Ewers. He sent an all-out blitz, being super aggressive. That is what you should do in that situation. You should not allow the quarterback to have time to throw the football like Eberflus was doing all of the last 3 years. So, love that from Dennis Allen. But let me know what you guys think about this game down below in the comments. What are your major takeaways? Who stood out for you guys? Let me know down below. I'll be back with more videos next week. But as always, guys, bear down.